What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one and only, Ash Brown, and this is the Ash Said It Show. Over 2,100 episodes since 2014, 500,000 streams around the world. None of this is possible without you guys, so thank you so very much. The shares and the cares, it makes a huge difference. Today, I am joined by the wonderfully ultra-talented founder and CEO of Cupcakin Bake Shop. I've got the wonderful Lila with me today. Hey, Lila.
Hi, Ash. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. You're a busy lady. You're a little bit of everywhere, Lila. It's hard to get you.
Listen. I am so overdue for a vacation. You have no idea.
You and me both, girl. You and me both. Okay, so first to start things off, how did things start with the business? Where did it come from?
No, it's a great question, and it's actually a fun story. So I graduated from Howard University, go Bison, 1999. And I had absolutely no clue what I wanted to do with my life. And so I remember getting on a payphone, calling my mom and saying, I've graduated. What do I do next? So I was waiting tables just to kind of supplement my income at the time. And so she said, why don't you just come home and get into the family real estate business? And so I came home to California, born and raised, Bay Area. And I got into the business, and I did really, really, really well. Like, I was first year, 6 figures. Second, third year, by the time I was 23, 24, bought a lot of property. Mid 6 figures by the time I was 25. But as much as I loved the freedom, the income, I wasn't in love with my profession. And so my soul-searching time came about in 2008, if you recall, the big crash. Yes, I lost a lot. I lost a lot of property. I had to short sell things. And so, but I did it all with grace because I was still young, right? I had time to kind of turn my life around and make a different decision for my life. And so I just remember baking being a therapeutic outlet at the time. And I just really dove into the chemistry and, the process. And I was like a mad scientist. I had moved back in with my mom. She had a huge house, and so it worked for both of us. And I was just in the kitchen all the time. She wasn't much of a cook, and so it didn't matter that I had taken over the kitchen. And what I would then do for research is I traveled around the country. I was on a bakery tour. I wanted to see who had the best sweets in America, from Chicago to New York to Miami to Atlanta, DC. And I came back like, okay, I know what I got to conquer, and so Sprinkles had recently opened up the very first cupcake shop in the world in 2005, and I just remember being enamored with the idea. And so I was like, I want to do this. And so 2010, I remember I started my Facebook page, and I went on like Vistaprint or something and got some business cards. And as far as I was concerned, I didn't have no license, I didn't have nothing, but I was like, oh, I'm in business. And so all you needed was the word to spread, right?
Right.
So my friends would start to come, and they were like, okay, wait, she's really good. Like, this is not just baked goods. These are actually really good. And I had a friend who didn't like sweets. And when she gave me her seal of approval by leaving an empty plate of crumbs, I was like, okay, I think I have something. So from there, I also have a lot of friends in corporate America, so they would refer me to their jobs for like Christmas parties. And so then I got into the corporate world. My boyfriend at the time worked for the Raiders, and so I got into the Raiders. So it was a lot of plug amongst my community. And from there, that was all she wrote.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is
super fun.
incredible journey. That is awesome. I mean, you found just monumental success with the 5 locations in California. You know, that's big. That's a huge accomplishment for anyone. And, you know, as you were gravitating towards the southern region, you know, getting back to the East Coast, what made you choose Buckhead as the second Georgia location?
So, no, it's actually a great question because I know a lot of people are like, how did that even come about? So, my younger sister went to Clark, Atlanta, and my father purchased a home here in Atlanta, and I would come out often because it gave me the same sort of feel that I had in D.C. of just like Black excellence, and we're upwardly mobile, and we're taking over the city. And I was like, you don't really get that in California. So I would come here to just feel that nostalgia, and I love Southern hospitality, and I just was like, you know, I think that I may eventually move to Atlanta. And so Atlanta was a personal choice before it was a professional one. I actually moved to Georgia in 2020 with a friend who was also looking to relocate. And I had no intentions of opening a business initially here. What happened was my entrepreneurial spirit, one, is hard to tame. And two, a location became available at Colony Square first. So that's actually where we started first, in Midtown. And that was literally 5 minutes from my apartment. And it just kind of was like a no-brainer to get us some immediate exposure. And then to give you the background on the Buckhead location. So when I visited often back in the day, Cupcakes was actually in the location that we're currently in.
I know where you're at. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I know
Yeah,
where Cupcakes is at. Right across the street from where Justin's used to be.
Yep.
Too.
Oh,
Wow.
Where Justin's used to be. Exactly. Yep. Yep. Wow. And so I used to drive from Lithonia all the way to Buckhead to get me a cupcake from Cupcakes.
Yes.
And a part of it was the experience too, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I used to read her stories.
Yes.
You know, I kept tabs on her, and I was just like, I am really inspired by this lady. She has like 9 locations between Atlanta and Florida. And so literally I was driving to Cupcakes and it wasn't there. And it said for lease.
Wow.
And I was like, wait a minute. Where's Cupcakes? So I called the leasing office. And I was like, hey, I'm calling to inquire about the space. Does it have a kitchen? Da, 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 da. And they were like, you know, it didn't have a kitchen in there. So I guess they used a commissary and maybe delivered there every day.
Gotcha.
So it stayed on my mind. It kind of haunted me, like, that space is available. You know you could take it over.
Exactly.
And then you could, like, acquire her customer base.
Clientele.
And I was, yeah. And so I ended up signing the lease. And I had to put a kitchen in there because we didn't want to do the commissary concept. We wanted it to run independently, you know? So that was location number 2, a year after we opened location number 1, which in hindsight was a little ambitious. So we both are open now. Colony Square got a running start because there's so many anchors in that. You know, there's Chick-fil-A and Starbucks, and so it had like several successful businesses surrounding it, so you can't help but to do well there.
Right.
Buckhead had a slower start because there was such a long gap between Tammy closing and me opening, right? Yeah, so I really had to then do the work to start to promote that particular location. So that is, you know, kind of where we are now. The store is definitely on the rise. Usually it just takes us to get people in there, and once they're in, you know, we typically have a finally in. So
yes. Oh wow, that is like I said, I know. I remember exactly where Cami Cakes is. Wow,
yes,
what?
yes,
That is a
that was my spot.
full circle
Mhm.
moment. Wow, that is.
Yep. Yep.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Now, I mean, you and your team are just constantly innovating. You guys are always doing something new, something to pull in new audience, something to keep your current clientele happy and up to date on things. Now, from the flavor of the month to the new custom cake program, walk us through that creative process in developing new flavors.
Yeah, that's another great question. So, because this is a business that I started, I didn't just acquire, so I understand the ins and outs. I know that one of the special thing about being a baker is being able to express your creativity in the kitchen, right?
Right.
And I didn't want to take that away from my team members by just having them robotically follow this recipe and not have any contribution to the creative process. So when their eyes light up, it's because I invite them into that process.
Right.
It's like, hey, what do you think about, creating a Cinco de Mayo cupcake for us? Oh, they go crazy for that. They're like, oh my God. Especially like I have, folks in California of Latin descent. And if I'm like, look, this is, show us what you got.
Yeah.
There's a pride that folks will take in celebrating their culture. And so recently, one of the bakers in California came up with a churro cupcake that was absolutely delicious. We have a margarita cupcake for Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
And so really, here's what I'll do. I'll say, look, you have an idea, bring it to the table. We're all going to taste it before you can get on our menu. Because everyone has to approve it. It has to be like almost unanimous.
Right.
So we will allow the bakers to contribute. And so I want to give a shout out because we have a peach cobbler cupcake on the menu. That was not created by me. That was created by one of our bakers.
Oh my God.
You had it?
Sounds incredible. I'm like salivating right now. That sounds so doggone good.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. So she came up with that and we all tasted it and was like, this is a go. This is on the menu like permanently. So that is how the bakers contribute. For me personally, I can get inspired at a restaurant with savory dishes. Like we had a chicken and waffle cupcake. We've had a maple bacon cupcake because I love breakfast. We've had cupcakes that were infused with wine, like a Pinot Noir or a Cabernet frosting. I can get my inspiration from anywhere, mainly because I'm a fatty and I love to eat. And I just am like, ooh, we can turn this into a cupcake. So there's really no holds barred.
I'm saying
when it comes to that.
We sounding more and more like twins, Lila, because I'm a foodie too. I love me some good food. Put me some. I love some sweets. I definitely was born with a sweet tooth, but food. Oh, Lila, I'll be sitting up there tasting and snacking everything y'all got.
I really just enjoy a good culinary experience.
I love that. And kudos to you for being such an inclusive boss. You don't hear too many times of the founder, of the CEO of a company really including the team. Like, I love the fact that you embrace the different ideas that your team will bring to you, and it's yay or nay. Let's take a vote to it. Let's see what happens with it.
Yeah,
I think
it keeps them engaged.
Yeah, I love that. I definitely feel as though a lot of businesses would go further if they would consider, other people's ideas in it. So I love the fact that you do that. That's really, really awesome.
Thank you.
Now, in a competitive market, especially in Atlanta, with all these wonderful, sweet type places that are surrounding us, how do you feel as though cupcaking sets itself apart?
Yeah, so that's kind of what I was afraid of in the South. Was like, people with Southern palates are very discerning, okay? And so, you know what I thought? I was like, let's stay true to our California roots, but also respect Southern tradition. And so what that looks like is, you know, if you go to California, there's a lot of farm to table. There's a lot of like artisanal approach to the culinary experience. And so a lot of purity, right? So we stay true to that, right? There's no Crisco. There's just butter. There's you know, we pay $400 a gallon for our vanilla extract. Like, we're using the premium cream of the crop when it comes to what we're inputting into the process, and so the output can't be anything but excellent. Now, I will say, if you think about it, a lot of traditional American desserts, I feel like, came out of the South. Like, you know, your caramel cake, your German chocolate, your hummingbird. A lot of that is Southern inspired, and so respecting that tradition but putting our own little spin on it is how we've come to the South to kind of represent ourselves, but to pay homage to, you know, Southern traditions. And so I think that plays over well, you know, because like the peach cobbler cupcake feels familiar in the peach state, but you taste it and you're like, ooh, they did this, you know, like we, and you know, a lot of our cupcakes are not just cake and frosting. We'll have like a crust on the bottom and a filling in the middle and a garnish on the top. So we're really taking it a step further.
Okay, so yeah, y'all definitely, this is not, you know, cookie cutter you can just pick up at the supermarket stuff. It's some heart and soul that goes into this. Okay.
That's exactly right.
Okay. I see that. Now, recently you've won the best dessert at the Grand Tasting Buckhead. What did this award mean to you?
You know, it actually meant that we had, it was kind of like an initiation, right? It feels like, okay, true acceptance. Like, because I was there. Now, I wasn't behind the booth, but I was like kind of observing, outside of the booth, the reactions of people once they taste it. We had like red velvet, salted caramel, and key lime. I wanted to see, okay, which is the most popular? What are people's responses? And it was like an overwhelming positive response. Some people were just like praising us, like, oh my God, where are you at that? So I was like, okay, we have cemented our place in the South. And then I don't know if you know, but they just recently hosted the same group, A Taste of Midtown. And we also participated, and we also won Taste of Midtown.
Right. Get it, Cupcakin?
Yes. So that really solidified, like, okay, we're in here. Like, the South is accepting us.
Wow. That is an incredible ride. Kudos to you and your team. You know, it takes a village. So I know, you know, there's a lot of movement and a lot of, you know, connection and people that help to make everything a success. So, like I said, kudos to you and your team.
And the team, you know, I didn't participate at all in Taste the Bucket. I just let them kind of run the show. And just the pride that they have of being on the winning team. You know what I mean? I think that it makes them more loyal. It makes them more connected. And the fact that I just let them run it on their own, you know, they were able to take ownership. You know, I'm not taking that award to put it in my apartment. It stays at the store. You know, you guys earned that. And, you know, one of my bakers texted me congratulations. And I was like, no. Congratulations to us.
Exactly.
Like, I said, do you know how much hard work you put in to make this happen? And she was just, I think my response to that just really, like, highlighted how team-oriented I am about this whole process and our journey here, you know?
Yes. Absolutely. Now, you started off as a home-based business in 2007, and now you've built this bi-coastal bakery brand. What would you say was the most valuable lesson that you learned in this journey?
Ooh, that's a great question. I mean, it's always hindsight, right? You wish you had known better. I would say I was terrified. This was completely new, right? A lot of people thought, like, what is Lila doing? How's she going to go from selling real estate to selling cupcakes? You know what I mean? So I think fear will always be a part of the equation when you're embarking on something unknown. But just, you know, for me, it was like, okay, I'm scared, but I'm still going to do it. So it was like fear didn't get to derail the process. I think a lot of times we'll let fear talk us out of something new and different, right? For me, it was like, okay, fear, if you coming with me, it looks like I can't get rid of you, but you're definitely not riding shotgun. Okay. You're going to get your butt in the back seat, and you're going to shut up, because we're on this journey. Yeah. So a lot of stuff I did it scared. Even, like, initially, I remember I was on the founding council for Facebook Small Business. There was 10 businesses. But what that meant was a lot of interviews and publicity, and it was great for the business, but I was terrified. I wasn't a public speaker. You know, I was a little shy, a bit of an introvert. They had me as a keynote speaker in front of like 1,000 people, and I just remember like, okay, this is what it is, Lila. Like, if you want to get out here, this is what it requires. And so I would go on stage terrified, but I would perform. I would do it anyway, you know. So I think just like learning to overcome and work through my fears was it was huge for me. Like, the old Lila would have been like, oh, it involves this, I'm not doing it. You know, I'll just go. You know, my original major was architecture, which you're kind of isolated and just drawing and for yourself, and it's a very safe environment. But this took a lot of branching out, and so I think that for me was where I grew a lot, and just learning to conquer that fear.
Yeah. Well, I say that you absolutely have conquered it now. I mean, the word is spreading like wildfire, and I love it.
Even when you said that, I got a little nervous.
No, girl, you are doing it. Your story is so inspirational, and that's why I love doing this show. Is I never know who I'm going to talk to, and I never know what we're going to talk about sometimes. You know, I can give you all kind of an outline and stuff, but it's like really getting to the nitty gritty, and that's why doing the show is so special for me, is because I get to get just a little sliver of your world and what it's like to be you, to be this entrepreneur, to have this idea and working it from an idea to execution and seeing that final result. So I tip my hat to you, Lila.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
And let everyone know, Lila, the best way to get some more information and following you guys and all those good things.
Yes. So I think first start with our Instagram. There's so many visuals there to kind of guide you as to all of our offerings and our happenings. So that's at Cupcakin Bake Shop. That's Cupcakin, no G, Bake Shop. And then our website, cupcakinbakeshop.com. You can order online. You can order cakes, cookies, cupcakes, and then come see us at one of our locations. Like, we bake fresh every morning, and so you're getting a product made on site within a few hours. So, I would say those are the three: Instagram, website, or in-store.
Okay, sounds like the plan. And also, a little birdie told me, Lila, that there's something going on next week for Halloween. Y'all might have a little something going on. I don't know.
Yes, I'm super excited about this. So we are going to have a radio broadcast live at our Buckhead location from 6 to 8 p.m. So here's what we're doing. For the folks who just forgot to get their costume or didn't have time, we're going to have face painters.
Okay.
We are going to have free mini cupcakes for all the kids and adults. We are going to have a costume contest at 7:30. We have to determine the prize, but it will be monetary. And, yeah, we're just going to have an all-around good time. So we set the time so that folks have enough time to get off work and, you know, get themselves together. But we will be there from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 2221 Peachtree Road in Buckhead.
All right. Y'all heard it here first. Lila, thank you so much for coming through. Definitely appreciate all of the good vibrations, all the good energy.
And it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
And I mean, of course, this is not one and done, Lila. You got to come back. I know there's some more stuff. Y'all are cooking some stuff in the back. I can smell the aromas, Lila. I'm getting whiffs of sweetness, Lila. So
yes, absolutely.
You got to come back and share with us. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me, just watch. Watch what I do, watch me make it happen, watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.